Hi, it's Anne-Marie, and I'm here today with Christine Hibbard of Looking Glass Adventure, and we're just going to have a conversation about what you do, Christine, and a little bit more about your business. So, why don't you tell me? Why don't you describe your business and let me know what areas that you specialize in?
Sure. Okay, so we are an escape room venue. And it's kind of cool not to fully explain that anymore because I think everybody understands what that is. But for those of you that don't know, I guess the closest explanation is it's like interactive games, a recreational spot where you go into a themed environment. You have a particular challenge that you will have to work through with your group and basically solve a series of puzzles in order to escape the room, or now what's commonly just, complete the objective of your game. So we are on the Danforth and we have a 4,000 square foot facility, home to 3 escape rooms. And we do everything from host birthday parties to corporate groups and family get-togethers, celebrations, everything, proposals, you name it.
Oh, that sounds great. So, what made you decide you wanted to run an escape room business?
I started out playing escape rooms. I think I played
Okay.
my first escape room and thought, oh gosh, this is fun. I was a stay-at-home mom at the time. It kind of tickled parts of my brains that weren't in use, for those sort of things. I was solving logic puzzles and math problems, and which I didn't normally get the chance to do. And so that was my first thought. And then my second thought was, oh, my kids would love this. Not only would I enjoy it, and I like games, but they do too. So
Great.
then I started looking around to see if there were any facilities that were family friendly. And at the time, escape rooms were a very different concept. There were a lot more horror themed games.
Okay.
We were actually physically locked in the room, sometimes even handcuffed. So they weren't really kid appropriate. And then I thought, oh, gee, wouldn't it be neat to make something a little bit more oriented towards families and kids? So that's how it sort of began.
Oh, it sounds really interesting. So before you were home with your kids,
Mhm.
what type of training did you have? Like, what had you been doing before you were home?
Well, I'm the type of person that's tried a lot of things.
Okay.
So I was in sales. I worked for Bell Canada early in my career. I was a travel agent, fairly leading up towards before I had my kids.
Okay.
So it's a combination of several things. I did have a part-time business doing web development. And I think at the time before I started, I was actually working sort of several contract jobs. I was doing some fundraising as well as merchandising. So quite a few things I've tried out.
So what's the most surprising thing about owning this business, this escape room business?
Um, I mean, there's always surprises. I mean, who could have called the pandemic for one?
Yeah.
That was something that wasn't on my radar. Um, I think I think the most surprising thing is just how well I've done and how the business has grown. When I first started out, I was using my own money to start it, and it was tough. I was like I said, a stay-at-home mom, so we were relying on one income mostly, and I had some money saved, and I thought, okay, well, if this all goes terribly wrong, I'm only out this amount of money. So I was doing all these kind of calculations in my head of, okay, well, that's fine, that's a loss I can handle, but I never fully anticipated the extent of doing well. We opened and people loved it, and then more people came, and I got busier and busier, and I thought, oh, gee, I have to hire people, and so it was. I mean, it still kind of is. It's kind of a constant surprise. Even just the March break we had was very busy, and I thought we'd kind of have a slower sort of build up, and then suddenly it was like a light switch and we were suddenly busy. So I think it's good to plan for the worst but expect for the best, and that's sort of where it caught me.
Wow.
Yeah. That's
So,
a good problem to have.
I mean, so you mentioned the pandemic. What sort of impact did that have on your business?
Well, our business very much impacted.
Yeah,
They do mention restaurants and, all sorts of businesses that have been impacted. Of course, escape room community is a somewhat small, amount of owners across the GTA and Canada, but we were all heavily impacted. We kind of followed the guidelines of gyms and restaurants, and whenever there were occupancy restrictions or closures, we closed. Sometimes we even closed before. There wasn't specific guidelines for escape rooms, obviously.
sure.
So
Yeah.
sometimes we call and get information, and then we get different information. So, most of us just erred on the side of caution and thought, well, let's close to be safe. So we did spend a long time with our doors shut to the public. But luckily, I was able to pivot. We did start hosting what we would best term as live avatar remote play games. So we would
Okay.
have a host inside the escape room with a handheld camera, and they would essentially host the escape room that way. So we actually, again, surprisingly and unexpectedly, got very busy from doing that. We had a lot of corporate groups, a lot of companies calling us looking for team building. The first holiday where things were shut down, suddenly everybody wanted a virtual Christmas party, and there wasn't much to choose from. So we were getting bombarded with phone calls and inquiry. So it was great to be able to quickly pivot into something a little different, and it grew into its own thing, and it kept everybody busy.
Wow. It sounds like it's a bit unexpected, and you're like suddenly looking for more staff to manage this kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
we actually hired a lot more on our team and seasonal help. Yeah, it was one of those things where we just had to be really just roll with the changes. Yeah.
So what do you anticipate, coming out of the pandemic now? Do you think people will go back to live escape rooms? I mean, obviously, but do you
Mhm.
think the other part of the business that developed will continue?
I do. We're hiring again, and we're sort of letting people know that it is going to be a hybrid position where you will be either hosting or in person or online. I think our remote play games grew so much and grew into their own thing that people really enjoyed them. Some people said, "Hey, this is better than coming in person. I don't have to get a babysitter. I can sit and have a
Yeah.
glass of wine and play. I can connect with friends in another country." So we're still allowing that to happen. And it might be on a lesser scale because I do see a lot of people itching to get out as well.
Sure.
But it's nice that we found something a little bit, different that we could adapt to, and we're able to do both.
Yeah, that's really, really interesting. So tell me a little bit about you. Do you live in the East York neighborhood?
I do. I do. I live on just off of the Danforth at Greenwood and
Okay.
Danforth. I purchased my house in my early 20s, and I've been here ever since. It was important to me to find a reasonable home and something community oriented. And I know the neighborhood well because I didn't live far from here. I didn't grow up far from here. It was also important to me to find a business nearby. It was a very strong goal of mine. We started out at Danforth and Woodbine, and it was through the help of the Danforth East Community Association that helped get us started. So we were very
Right.
much integrated in the community right away. And I saw escape rooms as the type of business that would be a destination location
Sure.
and be able to bring business into the area. At the time, with DECA involved and trying to revitalize the Danforth, there were a lot of empty storefronts at that time. They were offering pop-up spaces. I wanted to help contribute to that and possibly maybe bring people into the neighborhood that might not normally have a reason to come in. So when we first started out at Danforth and Woodbine, we were a smaller location with just one game, but we did bring a lot of people into the neighborhood, and they would go to the restaurants nearby. So you could really see it having
Yeah,
an
no, I mean, and
great.
you really would be a destination, right? Because
Mhm.
people would say, oh, let's go out for dinner and then we can do the escape room,
Exactly.
activity
It's
afterwards.
like dinner and a movie. So people were
Dinner.
always asking me, where do we eat nearby? And it was really cool to be able to suggest restaurants that I personally know of and have been to. And then to feel good about that too. Because they are coming into the neighborhood, and they would travel from all over. There's a strong escape room enthusiast community, and they travel all over Ontario just to try different escape rooms.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
So do you have any go-to businesses or restaurants that you usually recommend?
Um, Now right now we're at Victoria Park, like Dawes and Danforth area.
Yeah.
And so if anybody's looking to open anything, that's a great neighborhood because right now a lot of people have been asking us about birthday parties and where they could maybe go after the game. And we've closed our party room for now. But so there's great potential there because they're right where we are. There isn't a lot I can recommend within walking distance.
Yeah. Yeah.
Luckily, most people drive or take the subway or Uber. So I have made recommendations more of the places that I'm familiar with. So any restaurants basically east of Broadview, I've recommended depending on what people are looking for. If they have the need for a party room, or if it's a
Sure.
more corporate get together. We've done catering before in the past, where we've used some restaurants nearby to cater events. But if there are any restaurant owners that want to reach out to me, please
Okay,
feel
well, I'll let them
free.
know.
I'm
I'll
happy to hear of any other ones. But
sure.
some of the favorites we recommend are local 17. I always get the address mixed up. 1794, Morgan's, the Wren, all those sorts of restaurants, and then even farther west, a lot of the Mediterranean restaurants. Um,
Sure.
if people are coming into the area, they think of Greek Town and they want to go out for
Yeah,
Greek
they
food
want to get it. They
afterwards.
want to have a
Yeah,
try.
yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
Um, so uh, what can you tell me about, people shopping locally in their community? So it sounds like you both live in
Mhm.
East York and work in East York. And so part of what I'm doing here is just promoting local business and local shopping as well.
Mhm.
I mean, do you have a sort of perspective on why that's an important thing to do?
I do, and I think the recent events, the pandemic, I think has really kind of highlighted that. I think
Yeah,
being a part of community, having that kind of integrated support system has just benefited us, through word of mouth. The support we have from the community is just amazing. I don't, and I might be biased, but our neighborhood is amazing for that. I can't think of any other area. It's the best of everything. You're living in Toronto, but yet you also have those sort of small town elements where there's so many people that I know through other people, and or even just customers that have visited us through the years and have referred us, and even seen kids at our venue that have grown up over the years and visited
right.
again and again. And just having a community there to support us has been incredibly rewarding, and certainly helped get us through the pandemic, and is continuing to support us. And it just feels you have that sense of security. I think I wouldn't want to change that. And I don't think that happens. We are very fortunate in this neighborhood. I don't think that happens everywhere. And so I can't imagine being anywhere else, really.
Yeah. Are there other things that you like to do in the neighborhood? Um, I've met a lot of people, I mean, doing this and people talking about skating, talking about outdoor recreation, that kind of stuff.
I I have three kids and a dog. So, I mean, we're often grabbing coffee and treats on the Danforth, walking down to the dog park at Monarch Park. I have some friends in the neighborhood. We'll usually just meet and go for a walk down the Danforth, do a bit of window shopping. So we're always around the neighborhood. We support other businesses as well. We often grab takeout on the weekend. Yeah, we're just kind of very ingrained in the community. Now, with that said, I probably don't get out as much as I should because a lot of times I'm at work, and even when people are asking about certain shops around us, I hear about them, but it's hard for me to make it in and grab a lunch.
Hard to get there.
I should make more time for that. But yeah, we use the local pools in the summer. It's my kids go to school in the neighborhood. So yeah, we're here. We're here and pretty anchored.
Pretty anchored. Sounds
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah.
So I know you run this business and you've got 3 kids, and of course they'll have been home doing schooling on and off for the past 2 years. But are there other things you do in your spare time?
Yeah, we have quite a few hobbies. Luckily, they're with the escape room, we're genuine kind of gamer people, so we enjoy whether it's playing board games or video games. We love immersive things. I just came back from being in an amusement park or a theme park, I should say, in Florida. So we love that. We love Halloween and visiting local haunts. We love visiting other escape rooms. We attend a Halloween event every year, and try to at least in Florida. That's pretty well done. We go to a lot of trade shows and events that are sort of escape room oriented. That are kind of popping up all over the place. So that's really fun. We put a lot of effort into sort of a lot of research and development. So lots of things that relate to the business, but it's luckily our interest in our hobbies as well. Yeah. Sometimes I feel guilty, it's like, oh, I have to go away to, several years ago, I went away to Orlando to do some birthday party training, which was amazing. But I also feel guilty about it. It's like, oh, this isn't boring. Everything about this trip is great. And, we spend our evenings in, downtown Disney, and then our days during in training. So yeah, it's a lot of fun.
It sounds amazing.
Yeah.
So do you have anything special going on right now at Looking Glass Adventure that you're trying to promote, or?
I'm just telling everybody we're open.
You're open.
We're still here.
We're promoting.
Unfortunately, it's sad. A few escape rooms have decided to close their doors.
Sure.
Understandably, it's not without its challenges the last 2 years. So we're still here. We're booking games. We were hosting in person and online. So we have that going. We're slowly easing back to birthday parties, but we are taking our time and still trying to be safe and, respectful of the community and our customers and our staff. We're still, for instance, keeping up with our mask policy, but we're here and ready to sort of slowly build up again. With that said, I think we're probably going to have some growing pains. There's we can't go back to how busy we were. I am trying to sort of build up slowly because it's kind of a little bit like starting over again. But I'm happy to be here and, start cleaning up the facility and taking out some of the old signs and putting in some new ones and doing all that. So everybody's been having a great time too. It's been great seeing everybody come back and enjoy themselves and, us to be able to contribute to a fun day, fun evening, fun birthday. Yeah.
No, it sounds amazing. So when customers want to book something or contact you, what's the best way for them to do that?
They can go to our website at lookingglassadventures.com. We try to put all the information on there, but you can always call as well, or we have people messaging us through Facebook. We'll try to get to you as reach us, through our Google business page, that sort of thing. That's where a lot of our reviews are, so people can read up on us there. But they can easily just call or email us directly if they have a question about, particular special event they're looking to do or a birthday party, and we can certainly help them out further. Yeah.
And is there anything else at this point you think people should know about your business?
I would say we're getting a lot of new customers in. So
Interesting.
if for anybody that hasn't played an escape room, or of course, it's been a couple years since we've all tried something new. And so maybe your kids were younger, but now they might be growing into that age range where they want to try something like this, which is usually around the ages 8 and up. Yeah, give it a try. I don't like to tell too many people about the experience.
Okay.
It's better to go not knowing really what you're getting involved in, but it's a
Mhm.
very fun and safe activity. A really cool thing that we host many generations in the escape room. And so there's something for everybody. So yeah, if you want to try something different, try it out. We minimize our group sizes and stagger our group times. So it's really just you and your bubble playing. So we see it as a good alternative to, going to the movies or going out to theater. It's a nice, kind of safe activity that you can do just with your family or with a group of friends. And yeah, give it a try because you'll be surprised. You might actually enjoy it more than you thought you would have.
Well, that's great. I'm Christine. I want to thank you so much for talking with me this afternoon and letting me know more about Looking Glass Adventure. I think it sounds like something. My grandson, who's here now, is only not quite 1, so probably a little too young.
Yeah.
But certainly, it sounds like a great entertainment opportunity. And just had the new comedy bar open on this
Yeah,
part of the Danforth as well. So
excited.
you might have a combination activity.
Oh, we're so
where kids
excited
go to
about that. Yeah, I
kids go
actually
to
booked
the escape
tickets.
room.
We booked tickets in end of December when things were looking great
Really good.
before sort of Omicron, and so they got canceled. But yeah, we're hoping to go very soon. So yeah,
Yeah.
we're super excited. The marquee looks amazing. That's
It
on the
really
same
does.
block as ours. So yeah, I'm Glory. They're in good company on our block. So we'll have to go introduce ourselves to them soon. Yeah.